amazing English learners, and welcome to the very first video on my channel where I'm gonna share how I scored 150 out of 160 on a Duolingo language test. Well, first of all, I want to mention it was my first time doing the test and I did not really prepare a lot. So I made several mistakes. If I had known about these things beforehand, I could have scored better and possibly I will retake the test, I will see, but 150 is still a good score that I'm proud of. And I want to share all my experience, hoping that this can help at least one person out there score better. By all means, I'm not claiming to be an expert in the test. I'm just sharing my experience and what helped me personally. First of all, what are the benefits of Duolingo test? Firstly, it's way cheaper than our IELTS, TOEFL, Cambridge test. It's $49 and a lot of colleges accept this test. Duolingo test takes approximately 1 hour. Comparing to TOEFL and IELTS, that's very short period of time. And for us students, attention span is very short. At least I don't know how it is for you guys. My attention span isn't that great. So an hour, it's the most I can do. If the test takes 4 or 5 hours, I feel exhausted. It's excruciating. And I just don't enjoy this experience that much. I'm sure you can relate. The results are very quick. You only wait 1 to 2 days comparing to 2 weeks for TOEFL. And for other tests, you have to register 2 weeks in advance and wait for 2 weeks after the test to get your result. With Duolingo, if you fail, you don't lose too much money and you can retake it right away. You can take it 2 times a month. Let's start. I'm sure you're already familiar with very general statements, like you can't improve your English right before the test. If you even have 1 week, the only thing you can do is practice, prepare. However, I'm going to share more practical tips that helped me get a bigger score, because Duolingo test doesn't necessarily test your English language as much as the ability to take this specific test. You have to know the tasks, you have to be familiar with all the tasks, for example, like filling in the gaps or describing a picture. So my first strategy that I did, since it doesn't contain a lot of speaking and writing, I picked 5 advanced phrases that I intended to try to use on my Duolingo test. Obviously, it's great if you know more advanced phrases. However, there are general phrases, idioms, metaphors, proverbs that you can use with many things. For instance, there's a proverb, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Most Duolingo questions ask you to provide 2 points about something. For instance, would you rather choose art classes at college or science classes? And you gotta provide 2 reasons why you would make a specific choice. So at the end of your speaking, you can always say, like, I would choose art. You give your 2 reasons. And at the end, that's how I would kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Follow my passion and be well-rounded, right? So this phrase, when you're giving 2 reasons, kill 2 birds with 1 stone, is really practical, and you can pretty much use it with many topics. The other things is replacing very simple words like with more advanced phrases. For instance, instead of saying, I really like art, I would always try to say, I've always been fond of art. Or I adore this specific kind of art. I admire, I'm keen on specific kind of art, right? So avoiding saying I like, and I said it in pretty much every topic when I practiced. So I decided that there's no way I can avoid saying this phrase. So I just replaced it with more advanced phrases that helped overall my speaking look better. The third thing I did, I replaced the word important with the words like vital, essential, because no matter what topic it is, you will come across the time when you want to say like, art is very important in my life, etc. So even Google a couple of phrases, good idioms or phrasal verbs that you know how to use really well, and this is the key here. So you cannot just Google random phrases that you're not sure how to use and try to fit them in your writing or speech, but make sure you know really well how these phrases work. Next piece of advice from me. Number 3. Random thing, if you're showing 3 like this, it gives away that you're a European, or in my case, I'm Ukrainian, and Americans show 3 like this. free, and I never do this. This finger doesn't really even bend this way. The other thing I did, there are very specific topics on Duolingo, especially when it comes to writing and speaking. One of the topics I had is talk about an animal that I believe somehow evolved to adjust to the modern world or something like that. So a lot of topics are academic, which is understandable because a lot of people who are taking Duolingo test are applying for colleges. And in college, you will have to discuss specific areas, topics. However, those are not the topics you normally, discuss with your friends. So your English might be really good. You might feel like you're fluent when you're talking to your friends. You might live in an English speaking country for a couple of years. Yet test can still be a challenge. Why? Because you're not used to discussing these topics. You're not used to discussing like mammals, nature, animals. You're not used to discussing like politics or things like that. So I tried to obviously read as much as I could to become more well-rounded. But if you have a couple of days, like 1 week before your test, there is no way, right? You can get a lot of knowledge on variety of topics very quick. So what I did, I watched a lot of Tadad videos, and they have, and I don't mean TED Talks, but actually Tadad. They have those nice kind of like illustrated videos, pretty much about everything, like why do we dream, or how can coffee keep us awake? And it gives such a great wide range of topics. And I think it helped me a lot because there are different topics in Duolingo that you might not be prepared to speak about just because you lack this vocab. You just, even if you stumbled upon these words while you read a book or when, I don't know, writing a paper for your school, you don't use this word every time. So on the test, you kind of panic, you worry. I feel all of us are, scared on the test, and you have this timer showing you that your time's almost up. So you can't remember the words you need for this specific topic. So I recommend watching a lot of short videos. It doesn't have to be Tadad. You can Google very strange random topics. For example, like there was a topic about caves where they described the difference between stalactites and stalagmites. That's something I normally wouldn't know how to describe, even if I've seen these words previously. It's just not in my mind, right? Piece of advice number 4, stay hydrated. I did not grab any water bottle. I did not drink water beforehand. And whenever I had to, my first tasks were just like selecting the words, and then it came to the part where I had to read a sentence, and I felt like my throat was feeling really weird, and I just wished I had water with me. So it's a very small, simple advice, but you will feel better with water nearby. Just be careful because you still have to always stay within your screen, within your camera, look at the camera, because that's a bit tricky. You take it from home. That's why they have a lot of precautions to make sure you're not using any notes on or your phone. So be careful with that. 5, grammar. We all make a lot of grammar mistakes as language learners. And especially, when you're talking to yourself at home, your English can sound flawless. Yet on the test, you start doubting like very easy things. So come up with a few sentence structures that you're sure about. Look up a few sentences that sound advanced and learn to modify them. Learn to be flexible with these sentences and apply them to every topic. What I mean, my previous example with I've always been fond of. For example, I've always been fond of studying languages. It means like I used to like languages and I still like languages. You can say, I've always admired this writer. I've always been a fan of this singer. You're not using present simple, so it's considered a better grammar, and you know this sentence, and now you can use it. Another example would be the more, the better. For example, the more you study, the better result you get. The more I work, the higher my salary is. Learn this combination and try to apply it to your topic. And it's already going to be more advanced grammar because, again, Duolingo is tricky. Even if your English is very good, you can be very fluent, you still need to use grammar and academic vocab that you might not require on a daily basis. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If it helped you a bit, leave a comment. If it didn't help you, feel free to leave a comment. And I will be sharing more about Duolingo test in my next video. See you next time. Bye-bye.